radiant people, it's me, the Iridescent goddess, Faith. And I'm here today because we're going to do our first moon phase, which is the new moon. And I'm going to call this one Seeing in the Dark because it's pretty dark when obviously the moon isn't out and there's just a bunch of stars. So, how do we see in the dark? Let's get to it. The new moon, by definition, is when the moon is in conjuncture with the sun, so that its dark side is turned towards the earth. So basically, we're seeing the half illuminated side of the moon, which has appeared to have disappeared, so it's completely dark. There's no light reflecting on that part of the moon at that time. So basically, that's what phases are. Phases are us passing through the moon's shadow. We're moving through the shadow and we're seeing the shadow projected onto the moon. That's what the phases of the moon are. Now, the opposite occurs when the Earth's shadow is projected onto the moon. That's when we get a lunar eclipse. And we'll talk about that in another video. There's so many traditions all over the world for celebrating the new moon because it honestly means the beginnings of things, the planting of things, the sowing of things, the making of things, the creating of things, the mastering of things, all because people are willing to surrender to the sense of new beginnings, to the sense of fresh starts, to the sense of retribution after sin, possibly, or cleansing after trauma and chaos. So the new moon has a lot of purposes and a lot of ways to help people heal themselves. And that totally makes sense why people are so intoxicated with the moon, because if you look at ancient structures from all the way back in time, you see that a lot of the ones that are still standing align with the heavenly bodies because of how important the celestial atmosphere was and how it painted a canvas for not just our lives but their lives, the history of humanity. That's how we began to measure time. So no wonder we've shown adoration for the sun and the moon in every part of our lives, in literature, in government, iconography, in architecture. There's always evidence of the sun and the moon because it represents a sense of influence, a sense of consistency, a sense of our insignificance but our importance at the same time, and about how time is something that is an illusion but something that can also be measured by something so vast and so much bigger and greater and living longer than us. It has no concept, you know what I'm saying, of our existence basically. So when it comes to traditions for the new moon, it's basically people planting new seeds. And literally, that's something that I do during the new moon. I love to plant during the new moon. It's a hobby of mine. Don't judge me. We're going to get to the things that I like to do during a new moon to show you other ways that you can maybe want to implement it into your life or take it into your practice already. In my other book, for the new moon, it says, it's a good time to plant seeds in a new growing season, setting your intention. It's a start of beginnings. Chaos, currents, banishing, and soul searching. This is a great time to really give yourself a break. To give yourself a breather. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale through your nose. And exhale out your mouth. You're allowed to breathe. Okay? Another way to move energy around during a new moon is to smudge or cleanse the area in which you are dwelling in, or that you feel that it has a lot of negative energy, or even just your whole house if you do it on a regular basis. That's something that you might want to put into your practice because it helps keep positive energy around you and negative energy far away. It just knows it's not welcome there. My favorite type of sages that I like to use would be the white sage, even though I know you're not supposed to use it because it's kind of scarce. And I also like sweetgrass. I love sweetgrass. It just smells so good. It reminds me of the smell of home. Also, I think a good thing for you to do during the new moon is to always write down your new moon intentions. There's so much energy. Even if you can't go outside and plant seeds, you can write something down. You can write something down on a post-it and put it on your mirror. You know what I'm saying? You can write something in lipstick on your mirror. You could do anything you want to do. Just something there that there's a reminder for you to change, to make yourself better, that you acknowledge that you want in your life. Now, this is my favorite phase of the moon. And right now, we're in the new moon in Capricorn. This is when I'm filming it right now. And it's actually a very stable sign for it to be in, because the moon can be very erratic and emotional and up and down and very tides and roller coaster. And Capricorn is very stable, very sure, very secure. So it being right now in this sign makes me feel like that vision is clearer and my concentration, my intuition is a bit more on point. So also the sign that, you know, the new moon is in also affects how the new moon is going to act as well. So it's a lot, right? I know. I would like to tell everybody, also because it's my favorite sign, to take advantage of the darkness. And I know it's going to sound weird, take advantage of the darkness. Take advantage of the darkness. No, I'm not telling you to come to like the dark side or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. My point is to say that how often do you get to see the stars so bright when there's another orb in the sky that has your attention that is so large and so close? You're going to obviously see this, but when the moon takes a break, when she's resting, when it's no longer in the sky and it's a new moon and it's a new beginning, we're able to see the whole canvas of the sky and all the memories of stars that were and aren't and that are being born as we watch, you know. I get lucky enough to see a lot of meteor showers and a lot of shooting stars, and I feel like I tell people it's because I'm always looking up, and that's a great thing to think about. If you're always looking up, you might see something pretty wonderful. Take advantage of the darkness. You never know what you might find there. Don't be afraid of it. It's just something new. It's just something different. It's just the unknown. Take a risk, take a chance. So here are the things that I like to do during the new moon, and this is just me personally. Everybody has their own things. You can implement these, or you can, find it, that it works for you better during a different phase of the moon, but I find that this works for me best during the new moon. So the first thing, like I said, I clean and I smudge my house. I smudge my room. I do it. I don't care. I have to do it. Like, I get my Florida water, I get my other sacred waters that I've made, I get ocean waters, anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I clean my house. I get that red brick, I clean the stoop, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to make sure that you are protected, and your protection comes first. So I clean, and I feel refreshed. That's my number one rule, If you're putting out purity, you're going to get back purity. And that's something that I think I really am trying to live by. And I'm going to try and implement more into my life, to be honest with you. So I also cut my hair on the new moon. And I know people are like, why do you specifically do it on the new moon? I'm like, well, I do it every 2 weeks basically, but on the new moon I always cut my hair. It's just something I've always done. Like, I always cut my nails, like if I need to cut my nails, but I always cut my nails, my hair, and stuff like that. Change my sheets if, I have to change my sheets or whatever. I always do it on the new moon. Always on the new moon. I just feel like I have to do it. Not like it's a compulsion or an impulse or anything. I just feel like it's a way of opening up all the positivity that I'm actually asking the universe for, and it has space that's clean and welcoming to grow and flourish. I write down my manifestations all the time. I write down everything all the time. I'm literally that person. I'm very type A. I write down basically everything, and if I don't, I can't function. Like, It's very strange. Even though I do yoga and I'm like supposed to be super zen, like you're a goddess and whatever, and you're all fake. You're supposed to like no, like I have like seriously, like I can't function sometimes with, you know what I'm saying, like disorder and disarray, and like I just have to have everything be very streamlined and not chaotic, but that's not like reality. And then so I just rely on, I just surrender into the universe and just be like, you know what, it's got my back, I'm protected, and I have to just let myself have faith. I have to let myself have faith, so that I can move forward. And it's very difficult to do, but you have to be able to write down your manifestations and be specific and honest about what you're going to be asking the universe for, because you will get what you ask for. That's number one. And you should be honest and realistic about what you want as well, because it's not like you can't get a Ferrari and a Porsche or whatever. It's just that be realistic about what is going to serve your highest good, and then what's just serving your ego, because there's a big difference between those two. Lastly, for the new moon, I always make sure I do self-care. I don't skip on it. I have to do self-care. Even if it's just sleeping for like 16 hours, I don't care. Like, I'm always going to do self-care on new moon. I always have, and I always will. It's something that I feel like is a must, because it helps me recharge, and it helps me focus my energy. It helps me get in touch with my intuition. It helps me listen to my voice and follow my directions, instead of following the directions of the external world and society that isn't really serving me, but is there to use me as either a corporate pawn, or hustle me out of whatever. So I just try to realize that the way that energy works is very simple. So I like taking baths, and you can put essential oils in baths. I put flowers in my baths, like an abundance and an assortment of flowers in my baths. They are so luxurious. I have crystals and candles and whatnot, and it's just everything, because it makes me just feel so clean, and I smell like flowers, and just everything super feminine, but also just, I don't know, it just makes me feel clean from head to toe, but then also very cleansed from within as well. Those are just my tips that I do. Some of the things that I do for the new moon. If you want me to, give you more information about what I do during, certain, phases of the moon, or certain holidays or whatever, drop me something down in the comment, and then maybe I'll make a video about it. Just let me know what you guys are thinking, and we'll see what happens. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye, I guess. And I really hope you liked the video. So if you did, give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment, hit me up in the comments down below, give the subscribe button a kiss, and remember to shine from every angle like a diamond, like me, like you as well.